Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M44, the Tier 6 American SPG, and this one's located on the north spawn of Live Oaks under the commands of Anders 6. Now it's a 155mm howitzer based on the Walker Bulldog chassis, and well, these didn't see service during World War II, but they did see service in Korea, and some of them are still in action. Game started. Now, one of the things that makes this Arty so powerful is the reload rates, and the other thing is the fact that it is incredibly accurate, and also the gun swivels in a mount, which means that you can quickly realign the aim on another target somewhere else and get accurate shots on that as well. Got a very wide arc of fire. Now, Anders 6 is now looking for a target, and he's found his first one, which is a cockroach. Trying to work out where it's going to go. Oh, he stopped moving just as he was about to shoot. And found another one now, an SU-101R. ELC is doing a fantastic job spotting the enemy, but he's put himself at great risk, I'm afraid. There is an SU-8 at the other end of the battlefield. Looks like he's just spawned, and the round goes in, and oh my god, that was a direct hit, and there was a delay before it appeared, so I suspect he got a fire which finished him off. And that ELC is in a whole world of trouble. Can we help him? We're trying to go for the LTTB. No, it's a bit wide. Big water spout though. And the ELC is looking for the other Arty. There is another one. There it is. It's been spotted. Round out on the Jackson. It's going to be late, but it does do some splash for 34. Right, this is good news because we know where the other Arty is, the M12. If we can get that one, that would be a counter battery. Oh, he's just been hit. The M12 has just been hit, but we're going for the Jackson first. And we killed the Jackson, so that's the second kill for Anders. Trying to line up a shot on some of those enemy tanks, and not fully loaded yet. Reload time's normally about 16 to 17 seconds, depends on if you're using premium consumables. And I think that Anders 6 is not, well, he's not using premium consumables, but with a rammer, your speed would be about 17 seconds. Lining up a shot on the T-3485M. Rounds out. I always find that one of the ways that I actually improve my accuracy is to anticipate where the enemy's going to be. And you can do some fantastic leading shots on the enemy. And to some of them, the targets actually claim that we're using cheats or mods or something like that to enable us to get accurate shots on the enemy time after time, even when they're on the move. And the answer is no. It's just you dial in on a target, you anticipate where they're heading, and you lead the target with enough lead so that when the shot goes out, it hits the target bang on, and they die. Round out on the Tiger P, should be a kill shot. Yes, it is! Only 31 hit points, but he picked a target that was low on hit points and managed to get the kill. He's pulling back, changing position. There is only one Arty left on the enemy team. It's the M12. We did see him briefly, and I think he's in the courtyard of that building. But I think what Anders 6 is doing is he's relocating because he's a bit concerned that those enemy vehicles are actually headed this way up the railway line, and so he's repositioning to enable him to be safer. We've conquered the city, so that's all ours. We just need to ensure that we're perfectly safe from enemy fire, and that T-32 is getting closer. Go in front of the GW, but there's no threat from doing that. Okay, now he's going to aim at the enemy. Well, pick the first and the easiest target to get. Well, the E25 is not the easiest target, but you can see one there. He fires around it where he thinks it's going to be. And on this occasion, it didn't get any damage. The enemy is getting closer actually, and the big threat now is actually a Type 64 who's managed to come up from the swamp area. And so he's parked himself behind some buildings. He's now looking at that type. And there's the T-32, just the other side of the railway wagons. And he's still got half his health. Right, now he's trying to help where he can. And there's an LTTB, low on health, dialing in. Anticipate where they will be and put the shell there. Oh, and the T-32 gets the kill on that one. Well, there's a T-25-2 just behind that building, and we can splash him from here. Rounds out. This should work. It does. Only 35 hit points, but if you can keep them permanently stunned, or at least keep chipping away at their health, it really puts them off their game. And that's one of the things I found, that you can help your teammates just by frustrating the enemy. Fires another round in and knocks the tree down this time. Well, they've killed that Type 64, so he's no longer a threat, but there's still two tanks trying to come up the railway line. T-32 and another. Oh, T-25-2 has been spotted back at the back. Oh, going for the T-32. Oh, no. We lost our Panther M10 there. There he is. Now, something you'll notice, because it's almost at maximum range, you can see that the shell is almost coming in vertically, and that's something that I found, that sometimes if you improve your range from the target, the shell is at maximum range, the shell's going to be coming in from above, and that gives you a much better view of the target from above. You're more able to take it out. Of course, that doesn't happen with the French Arty. There's the E25. Doesn't happen with the French Arty because they've got very shallow trajectories. Rounds out on the E25 and, well, stunned him. But he's not in a position to be attacked by any of our teammates at the moment. There's the M12. Now, we can get him if we can get a reload in time. He's stopped. Rounds out. He's low on health. This should be a kill. It is! And that's a counter battery because he took out both of the enemy Arty. So, 4 enemy tanks left to go. He's got 4 kills. He could still get a Radley's. Oh, not anymore. They just killed the cockroach. So the best he can do now is the Top Gun. And we're looking at a T-20 over there and a T-32 there. There's also an M4A3 Easy-8, I think, coming up behind that Ferdinand. But that shot hits the T-20 with a splash of 165. And unfortunately, we just lost the Ferdinand. Sticking with the T-20 for the moment. Round out. No, I think that's going to fall behind the T-20. Doesn't matter that we knocked over that lamppost because there's no Arty to spot for us or spot us. Well, it's 4 versus 3 now. And the annoying thing is that there's all the enemy tanks are on the railway line. There's nobody to stop them from coming towards our cap. And I think the GW Panthers recognised that problem and he's now hightailing it into the city as quickly as he can. Now, if he comes out in B1, he can still play a useful part of the game. But I think in the meanwhile, Anders 6 is aiming towards the railway line because he's anticipating the enemy's going to go towards the cap. Try and get a reset on the T-32. The Firefly VC is headed that way. In fact, it's not Firefly VC, it's a Firefly 5C. Going for the T-20. Rounds out, looks good. And it wings him. 150 hit points of damage. It's tracked him, He hasn't used his repair kit, which probably means that it's in cooldown, and that's why he can't use it. We fired a round out. Oh no, he's moved on, but he got trapped and stopped there, and I think they're going to run out of time. And that was the GW hitting the T20 slow, and they've got a reset. Now, who got the reset? That's a good question. We fire at the T20. Just behind him. He's going to that corner to see if he can shoot around the corner at the Firefly and the T32. But there's that M4A3 EC8 that's appeared. And the 6 is still going for the T20. He can't see that tank. The T32 is not a threat. This is the threat. The EC8. Look for which tank is the most threatening to your teammates. The T32 can't shoot at them at the moment, and that was the M8. That's the EZ8 being killed. Nice shot. Unfortunately, T20 managed to get the Firefly, but we've got 5 kills now, so we can get this one. That's the top gun. That wreck is moving, so something's behind it. It was the T32. And RT32 moved up to try and get shots. Now, if we can reload in time. Round out. Direct hit! And the GW fires in at the same time, so that's bound to have done some damage. I think RT32 really thinks he can get both kills now. He's moving into a position so he can get them. He's going to go through the gap. There's the T20. He's making a run for it. Round out. It's going to miss. Yep. T32 is going to go for the T20 first. Now we can keep the T32 busy. The other one, the enemy one. We're almost loaded. Ready? Round out. Unfortunately, he killed our T32. So it's now 2 versus 2, but it's 2 RT versus 1 medium tank and 1 heavy tank. Oh, GW just took out the T20. So the GW now has 1 kill. But Anders 6 still has 5 kills. Now the best thing to do would be for both to split up, because it's more difficult for the enemy to find 2 than it is to find 1. If you stick together and he finds one of you or finds both of you at the same time, that's the end of the story. That's the end of the game, because he will get both of you. GW's moving down the 1 line. I think he'll stop at the edge of the city. At least I hope he does. Or is he going to act as bait? No, he's going to act as bait. Very good for him. It's something I've done. I did just recently in a game. I acted as bait. I got killed, but the enemy tank that killed me was immediately spotted and taken out the game. And we won shortly afterwards. Don't be afraid to be bait. You never know, you might get a shotgun kill out of it as well. Well, that's the 2-minute hooter. And in 6 seconds time, 1 will not be able to cap on their own. There's the T32. We spotted him. Line him up. Oh! Kill shots! Top Gun! 76 hit points. Wins the game for Anders 6. I'm sure the team are happy about that one. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. And it's a first-class tanker for Anders 6 in the M44. He got a counter battery. He took out both the enemy Arty, the M12 and the SU8. He got a bruiser mill for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, in this game, he got 24. And he also picked up a Top Gun for getting at least 6 kills in the game. And he certainly did get 6 with the last kill of the game. And he got a win 8 of 3,746, which is Super Unicum Standard and some more. So let's have a look at the team score. Well, didn't get the highest damage. That actually went to the T32 on the enemy team. The last tank that was killed, the one that was killed by Anders 6. He managed to get a high caliber only defender in that game, because he did get the reset on our T32. and he got 2,775 hit points. So he won't be unhappy because he's got 2 epic medals, and that means he's guaranteed to get more credits and XP from that game. The next high score was the GW Panther. He got 2,169 hit points of damage in that game. He picked up a Confederate because he only got 1 kill, but he did hit more of the enemy than anyone else. And then when it came to the M44, well, he's actually in 4th place because the T25-2 with 1,770 was ahead of him, and 5th place, sorry. The T20 was also ahead of him with 1,685, but 1,642 is still very good when you consider the 6 kills behind it. And he's top on the number of kills. As you can see here, the next high scorer only has 3 kills apiece. And when it comes to base XP, well, he's top on that one too. 1,016 hit points, 916 for the GW Panther, 911 for the T32. He fired 28 rounds in that game. Got 37 direct hits and 7 penetrations, so he did get pens on the targets that he picked, and splash on 12. Damage of 1,642 hit points, of which 1,566 were at more than 300 meters. He hit 11 of the enemy, killed 6 of them, and did damage assistance, or stun assistance I should say, of 335 hit points off 13 stuns. On a free-to-play account, he earned 23,682 credits, got 3,552 for completing the mission and events, so his total 27,234. And after ammunition resupply, took away 13,094 credits. He received 1 bond for getting the Top Gun, and 1,016 base XP times 2 for the first victory, 660 for completing the mission events, took away 2,692 experience points altogether. I should actually just check that GW. How many tanks did he kill? Ah, there you go. 7 and 1. That's why he got the Confederate. He did have the 6 tanks more than anyone else. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by others. The unfortunate thing in Anders' case is that he had 11 and 6. So he only had a difference of 5. If he got 1 more hit on another enemy tank, he would have had enough. It would have been 12 and 6, and he would have had a Confederate as well. So just narrowly missed out on that, but still very good that he's managed to get a counter battery and a Top Gun in the same game. So if you enjoyed that replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.